It's fun to be here. I'm told I can wander around. Is that true? Can everybody hear me? And I have a little remote. I did want to mention, just because I'm always introduced as being from USC, but I did spend 5 years here at UCLA, actually housed in IPAM, which I think is still here, the Institute for Practical and Applied Mathematics. Pure and applied mathematics, yeah, and actually, and taught the freshman cluster class in small title, The Origin and Evolution of the Cosmos and Life. So we just covered a few things. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the difficulties of communicating science. It's not the same as any other field. I feel really strongly about that. And I'm going to tell you why. It definitely puts some strange requirements on the part of the translator. So that would either mean you when you're doing your translating, or it would mean a science journalist or another journalist who you might be talking to, things to keep in mind. So let's see how this works. It works. This is obviously the first, PowerPoint. This is the only weird transition. Don't worry. I didn't get carried away. To start with, Frank Oppenheimer used to say that artists and scientists are the official noticers of society. The people who notice think that other people either have never learned to see or have learned to ignore it, and then communicate those noticings to others. It's really interesting for those of you who haven't read Alan Alda's book, Things I Learned While Talking to Myself. The end, as I remember, is all about the importance of noticing, and it's just absolutely key. The problem is that when scientists are out noticing what's going on in nature, they're looking at data points, and they already have to do a certain amount of translating. So the person who's then communicating has to translate what is in effect already been translated. And so there's a lot of garbage that gets in the way. And I hope you can see these. This is the sort of typical, thank you for granting this interview, blah, blah, blah. Jerk, imbecile. We often wind up like that, unfortunately. For the scientists, and I could show 100 slides with the same basic quote, there's no excuse for not being able to communicate what you do. I mean, this just happens to be Einstein. Most of the fundamental ideas of science are essentially simple and explainable to everyone. And the one I like even better from Schrodinger, if you cannot in the long run tell everyone what you've been doing, your doing has been worthless.